Oh, engaging technology, engaging with technology. Linda Eckert. I'm going to see if I can get this on the first take, and we'll see how good this goes. I love the background. I simply love the old books. Even though I know I'm talking about technology, our knowledge still comes from books. I use 4 applications in my online classes and my video classes. Educatin is a very good application to use to flip your class. Gotomeeting is a very good application to bring your students together in a virtual sense. Monkey Survey I use quite a bit, just simply to keep the students engaged and keep them on track in the course. And ScreencastOMatic, which is what I'm using here, along with PowerPoint, is my all-time favorite. I probably could not teach without ScreencastOMatic. So let's look a little bit closer how I use these tools. Educatin is a great way to flip a classroom or to deliver a lecture with questions. This is a tool that I use in my face-to-face classes sometimes. I also use it in my video classes, simply because we don't have enough time and students need more practice with the hands-on rather than listening to lecture. Besides, they all squirm in their seats. So I use Educatin. I do short lectures, no more than 12 minutes, but embedded in those lectures are questions they must answer to keep them on their toes. And they receive participation points for completing these. And all of their movements are recorded via Educatin. It actually is a free tool, so it's very handy to have. And student comments, the one that I really make me, really take notice was one student told me they stayed engaged in a lecture because they know the questions will be asked. And so they knew every 3 or 4 minutes I was going to ask them a question about what they would just discuss, so they stayed on top of it. I use it quite a bit now since I had a student tell me that. Next one that I look at is Gotomeeting, and this is provided by one of the schools that I teach at. But it's a very good tool for meeting and sharing with my students. I teach video classes, and I usually broadcast to 3 sites. And the only way that I have to share a screen, or it used to be the only way I had to share a screen, was to use the projector and block off all visual of the other sites. Now, I use Gotomeeting on their laptops to share the lesson material, so they can still see me on the projector, and they can still follow along with what I'm doing on their laptops. This has become very handy. I also have students connect with me if they need help on their homework, and it's very good for one-on-one. It's also very easy for the students to use. Student comments from this is using the meetings helps me stay involved in class when going over lesson material. Many of them had a really hard time looking at a screen that was moving and not seeing me or not physically being part of the other sites. So this way I can still keep that community together, and I can show them material without interrupting that visual. The other one I use a lot is Monkey Survey, and I just really started using this tool in this way. It's a great tool for keeping students informed and involved in the class. I have created have-you surveys that I send out before each class to the students that ask them to do checklists. Have they done this? Have they done that? Have they printed out the printouts for the night? Have they taken the quiz? Have they listened to the lecture? I use it for quick course evaluations. If a lesson didn't go right, or I just didn't feel that it went right, I will send a survey and ask all the students what they thought and what could have been better. It's a great way to improve your class very quickly. And then I use it for getting a class consensus. How do you want to handle this issue? How do you want to have the final setup? Those type of things. And usually when I'm teaching in a video class, I'm at 3 or 4 different sites, so it's difficult to get a good consensus. This works well. Student comments on this one, whereas it keeps me on track, I always know what is needed before going into class. Again, anything that helps organize them, that's very short and concise, usually helps with their success rate. And the final one I've been using is ScreencastOMatic. It's actually ScreencastOMatic. I don't know why we have that little frowny there. I guess I was going to put the address there. And while I'm here, let's just fix that. There. This is a great tool for doing introductions, lectures, hands-on explanation of lesson assignments. And how I use this tool, I use it for my lectures on Educatin. I record my lectures here, I upload them to YouTube, and then I go to Educatin and import them in and embed the questions that I'm going to ask. I also use this I also teach accounting, and sometimes talking about an activity and going over it in class, students forget. So I record the exercises so they can go back and look at them on YouTube to help reinforce what they're learning. And then I use it for introduction to my online classes. Student comments, a great way when I do not understand. There's always a video on the way to explain. And they really do seem to appreciate that. And the retention rate in my accounting class right now is right at 99%. That's an 8-week class and 3-way video going on, so it's working. I'm quite pleased with it. And finally, my future plans for multimedia, I'm wanting to find a pad where I can write on it, and as I write, that shows on the screen. Most pads are still fairly primitive. I mean, they aren't refined or precise enough. So I'm still working on a application that will allow me to do that and be affordable for the classroom. So I hope you've enjoyed some of the things that I use engaging with technology. Thank you very much.